Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. We are bringing back some of our old Daily Daves, repurposing them, bringing them forward, bringing them up to date. And because they're still relevant, and they are still great tools that I still use to this day. This tool, Pod.link, that I talk about in this episode from the past, I use it all the time. CanadianPodcaster.com for my Canadian Podcast Magazine. I use it there. I use it for my email signatures. I use it for my guests when they're on my show and I want to send them a link to their episode. The beautiful thing about this tool, it's free, first of all, which is awesome. It brings out and shows you mistakes that you might do in your show as far as your episode numbers and how you number your episodes. I found, for example, that I had numbered a season as an episode number. So it was like season 256. I'm like, oh wait, it's supposed to be the episode, not the season. Little things like that. And as well, just making sure that my podcast is on all of the major apps. So it's a great tool. So this is bringing back when I first fell in love with Pod.link. Still love it. Haven't changed. Still sticking with it for all these years. Here's my thoughts when Pod.link was launched. And I love it just as much today as I did back then. Here we go. Pod.link. If you're not using it, what's wrong with you? Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Daily Dave. Podcasting tips and suggestions and things to help you with your podcast, whether you're a new podcaster just starting out or you have a show and you want to grow. You want to grow and you want to grow your podcast. I have a tip that I found and I'm really enjoying it. If you go to pod.link, search for your podcast, and pod.link will give you a link to your podcast. It's right in the name, a link to your podcast, and it has clickable links within that on the screen to all the different players where you're listed. And it's an easy way to share your podcast with your listening audience. It's a great thing to put in your email signature, along with a link to a SpeakPipe, which I talked about before. SpeakPipe is a great way to get voice messages. But put your pod.link address link in your signature for your emails, and your listeners can find your show. Make it easy. Make it super easy for your listeners to find you. Always include that in your email signatures as they go out into the world. You never know who's going to click that link and be your next listener. Make sure you have that in there. So pod.link, again, pod.link, try it. You go in, search for your podcast, and then click on your podcast and it'll generate that link for you. And it's one more tool to make it easier for your listener to find you. It's amazing when you get that feedback from a listener, when they find your show and they fall in love with what you're doing. And you can be actively promoting your show just by making it super easy for your listeners to find you. I guess I'll give you an example. I had a listener who found my show and they live in Ireland and their name is Keith. Hi, Keith, if you're listening. Keith likes to listen to my podcast while he walks along the shore, along the ocean side. The waves are crashing in against the rocks. And he has my podcast playing in his earphones as he goes for his walk. When we start a podcast, we don't even really know who's listening, to be quite honest. At the beginning, we think we know. But when you actually meet Keith, Robin, Tom, Susie, when you actually meet them and you get to speak to them directly, it changes when you come to the mic the next time, because now you know, A, I need to get this podcast out because they're going to be looking for it next week, and B, there's a person really listening to the show. What a great feeling to know and connect with your audience. And what I would suggest for you is for you to be actively giving the feedback that you're looking for as a podcaster. When is the last time you, as a listener to your favorite show, reached out to that host, gave them some encouragement, sent them an email, gave them a rating, a review, a share, whatever that is, but did something, actually did something to support your fellow podcaster? I firmly believe that as we as podcasters give, it'll come back in some way, in some fashion, because we're doing it out of respect and honor for our fellow podcaster. I have to believe that it's going to come back in some form. So that's my consideration for you today. Use Pod.link. Try it. It's free. Put your podcast in there, grab the link, throw it in your email signature, post it on your website, put it in your social media, whatever. But share the link so people can find your show. Make it easy. And then when those audience members reach out, make it meaningful. Thanks for listening to The Daily Dave. We'll catch you on the next one. Hope your day is amazing. I hope that you get some time with somebody that you love. You make that time count. Catch you on the next Daily Dave. Keep podcasting. So I get asked quite often, usually at the end of a podcast, like right now, Dave, how can we help you? Like, how can we, as a listener, support the show? Can we come rake your leaves? Can we cut the grass? Shovel the snow? Watch your dog? Help you move? What can we do? Clean your dishes? Oh, that'd be interesting. Well, if you can't do that because, you're in Poland, maybe you can help us by supporting us with our Buy Me a Coffee. It's right there on our website. And, it just will help us to, A, stay fueled because, we drink a lot of coffee around here. And it helps the show. So if you want to help us, it's out of the goodness of your heart. I can tell you that listening to the podcast to this point, you've already helped us so much. But I do have people saying, Dave, I'd love to give back something small, even just to the show. Buy Me a Coffee link is on our website, ahadapodcast.ca. And you can support the show that way. It would mean a lot to have you on our team supporting what we do here. If you find value in the show, then that's great. Share the show, tell somebody about it. And when somebody says, Dave, I want to start a podcast, who should I check out? Oh, you should go check out the How to Podcast series because of all the great co-hosts and all the things that happen here, the meetups, everything. And I would appreciate that. And then fill our cup once in a while if you can. But again, thank you so much for being here and supporting the How to Podcast series. Take care. Talk soon. You're still here. Amazing. This is really cool. Thank you for sticking around to the end. This is that bonus stuff not everybody knows about. But for the last 180 episodes we've been doing these. It's a big number to say out loud. Ever since episode 500, we've been doing these, and it's just bonus content, just you and I, because most people have left already. A lot of people start at the beginning of the episode, and they just, whatever reason, they got to work. They stopped listening for some reason. I'm just thrilled you're here. I would love to ask something of you. I've been giving value and giving all this stuff. I would like to ask you to do one thing for me. Even if you don't listen to the show or partake of the show on YouTube, would you please, you probably have a YouTube thing on your phone. Can you go to howtopodcast.ca and click to my YouTube channel and just subscribe to it? I'm trying to grow that part of what I'm doing as well. I'm going to be doing some special things on YouTube outside of the podcast to complement the podcast, but I'd really like that audience to grow. So if you've had any value from this show over the last 680 plus episodes. Or if you're brand new and you're like, this was really cool, I like this guy, then please, if you could go over to my YouTube channel, go and subscribe, and then maybe tell somebody else about the How to Podcast series, that would be spectacular. Be back tomorrow with more episodes. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being part of the How to Podcast family. Oh, and I'd love to see you at our meetups. I know I just did multiple CTAs. I got it. But our meetups are amazing, and you're going to meet some of the best people in the world. So please come to our meetup, also at howtopodcast.ca. Take care. See you tomorrow.